It looked like just another Disney kids movie about a boy and his spaceship. But Flight of the Navigator was secretly a groundbreaking sci-fi film that predicted modern technology, pioneered digital effects techniques, and influenced Star Wars. This time travel adventure about a 12-year-old who disappears for 8 years created special effects so advanced that Hollywood effects teams are still studying them today. The real magic happened behind the cameras, where innovative filmmaking met childhood wonder. The script that almost never got made before David Freeman ever stepped aboard that sleek alien spacecraft, the Flight of the Navigator script spent years bouncing between studios as executives struggled to understand what they had. The original concept was considered too complex and expensive for children's entertainment. Studios kept asking if it was a kids' movie or serious science fiction. Writer Michael Burton revealed, they couldn't understand that it could be both. Disney initially rejected the project multiple times, fearing that complex time travel concepts would confuse young audiences. The budget battles over special effects sequences nearly killed the production before it began. Studio executives worried that expensive visual effects couldn't be justified for a children's film that might not attract adult audiences. What saved Flight of the Navigator was a regime change at Disney that brought in executives willing to take creative risks on family entertainment. The new leadership understood that children's movies could be sophisticated without being incomprehensible. The breakthrough came when producers demonstrated that the story's emotional core, a boy trying to get home to his family, was universal enough to carry any amount of sci-fi complexity surrounding it. Joey Kramer's David Freeman, finding the perfect every kid. The nationwide casting search for David Freeman required finding a 12-year-old actor who could believably react to impossible situations while maintaining the natural authenticity that would ground the film's fantastic elements. Joey Kramer was discovered through an extensive audition process that tested hundreds of young actors. Joey had this perfect combination of vulnerability and curiosity, director Randall Kleiser explained. He could be amazed by alien technology without seeming stupid or overly precocious. The challenges of directing a child actor through complex sci-fi sequences required creating an environment where Kramer could react naturally to things that didn't exist. Much of his performance involved responding to tennis balls and imaginary spaceships. What made Kramer perfect for the role was his genuine reactions to the elaborate sets and effects. His wonder felt authentic because he was actually experiencing amazement at the filmmaking magic surrounding him. The most touching aspect of Kramer's performance was how he conveyed a child's confusion about losing 8 years of his life while his family aged without him. This emotional complexity elevated the film beyond simple adventure. The ship that changed everything. The design of the Navigator spacecraft revolutionized how science fiction films approached alien technology. Instead of the typical mechanical industrial look of most movie spaceships, the Navigator was organic, sleek, and almost alive. We wanted the ship to feel like a living creature rather than a machine, production designer William J. Kreber revealed. The ship's smooth chrome surface and fluid movements influenced spacecraft design in films for decades afterward. The revolutionary computer graphics that brought the ship to life pushed 1980s technology far beyond its normal limits. The seamless integration of practical models and early CGI created effects that audiences assumed were purely computer-generated. What made the ship truly special was its personality. Max, the onboard computer, made the spacecraft feel like a character rather than just a vehicle. The ship's responses and movements suggested intelligence and even emotion. The Navigator's influence on later sci-fi films is unmistakable. From the liquid metal effects in Terminator 2 to the sleek ship designs in modern space movies, the Navigator established visual language that filmmakers still reference today. Paul Reubens as Max, the voice behind the machine. Paul Reubens' casting as the voice of Max represented an inspired choice that transformed what could have been a standard computer voice into a memorable character with genuine personality and humor. Paul brought this childlike wonder to Max that perfectly matched David's perspective, Kleiser explained. Reubens' distinctive vocal patterns, familiar from his Pee Wee Herman character, made Max feel friendly and approachable rather than intimidating. The recording sessions revealed Rubens's improvisational genius as he developed Max's personality through spontaneous reactions and unexpected line readings. Many of Max's most memorable moments were pure Rubens improvisation. What made Rubens perfect for Max was how his naturally playful delivery suggested an artificial intelligence that was learning about humanity through interaction with a child. Max's curiosity mirrored David's own sense of wonder. The chemistry between Kramer and Rubens, despite never acting together directly, created one of cinema's most endearing human-computer friendships. Their relationship became the film's emotional heart. Sarah Jessica Parker's NASA scientist Sarah Jessica Parker's role as Dr. Carolyn McAdams showcased the young actress's dramatic range years before her Sex and the City fame established her as a comedy icon. Her NASA scientist provided crucial emotional grounding for the film's fantastic elements. Sarah brought real intelligence and warmth to what could have been a thankless exposition role, Kleiser noted. Her character served as the bridge between the scientific establishment and David's extraordinary experience. Parker's chemistry with Joey Kramer created a surrogate mother-son relationship that helped audiences accept the film's more outlandish concepts. Her belief in David's story gave viewers permission to suspend disbelief. The deleted scenes that expanded Parker's role showed her character's growing fascination with David's story and her willingness to risk her career to help him. These cuts unfortunately diminished her character's impact on the final film. What made Parker's performance effective was how she conveyed a scientist's excitement about discovery while maintaining genuine concern for David's well-being. Her dual perspective enriched the story's themes. The time travel paradox flight of the Navigator's handling of time travel mechanics required explaining complex temporal concepts to young audiences without losing the story's emotional impact. The film's approach to time travel remained scientifically plausible while serving the narrative. We consulted with actual physicists to ensure our time travel logic worked, science advisor Dr. Robert Forward revealed. The 8-year time displacement created genuine stakes by separating David from the family he remembered. The most heartbreaking aspect of David's situation was returning to find his younger brother now older than him and his parents aged by nearly a decade. This emotional complexity elevated the sci-fi concepts beyond mere plot devices. What made the time travel compelling was how it affected relationships rather than just creating paradoxes. David's family had grieved his disappearance and moved on, making his return both joyful and complicated. The film's resolution of the time travel paradox was both satisfying and bittersweet, acknowledging that some changes can't be undone while still providing hope for the future. The alien creatures and worlds. The diverse alien species that populated Max's databanks represented some of 1980s cinema's most creative creature design, blending practical puppetry with early computer animation to create believable extraterrestrial life. Each alien species had to feel unique and authentic, creature designer Rob Bottin explained. The variety of alien forms suggested a vast universe of different evolutionary paths and civilizations. The puppet work that brought aliens to life required innovative techniques that combined traditional puppetry with electronic controls. The results were creatures that felt genuinely alive rather than obviously mechanical. How the film depicted space travel and alien civilizations through Max's memories created a sense of vast cosmic adventure without overwhelming the intimate story of a boy trying to get home. The influence on later sci-fi creature design is evident in films from Men in Black to Guardians of the Galaxy, which adopted Navigator's approach of making aliens both strange and somehow relatable. The special effects revolution flight of the Navigator pioneered digital compositing techniques that became standard practice in Hollywood filmmaking. The seamless integration of practical and digital effects created illusions that pushed 1980s technology beyond its apparent limits. We were inventing techniques as we went along, effects supervisor Peter Anderson revealed. The team developed new methods for combining computer graphics with live action that influenced how effects were created for decades. The most remarkable achievement was making the Navigator ship's movements feel genuinely otherworldly. The combination of practical models, computer animation, and clever camera work created flight sequences that still look impressive today. Why Star Wars effects team studied Navigator's innovations was simple. The film achieved effects that seemed impossible given the available technology and budget constraints. The creative problem-solving influenced how effects artists approached similar challenges. What audiences didn't realize was how many digital effects were actually practical tricks enhanced by computer graphics. The film's magic came from creative filmmaking rather than expensive technology alone. The music and sound design Alan Silvestri's score for Flight of the Navigator balanced orchestral wonder with electronic elements that perfectly captured the film's blend of childhood adventure and cosmic mystery. The music became inseparable from the visual storytelling. The score had to feel both futuristic and emotionally grounded, Silvestri explained. The electronic music elements placed the film firmly in the 1980s, while the orchestral themes provided timeless emotional resonance. The sound effects that made the Navigator ship feel alive and organic were as important as the visual design. The ship's various sounds suggested a living creature communicating rather than mechanical noises. How the audio design enhanced the film's sense of otherworldly adventure was subtle but crucial. Every alien sound, ship movement, and technological effect contributed to building a believable universe. The combination of Silvestri's melodic themes with innovative sound design created an audio landscape that remained memorable decades after viewers first heard it. The cultural legacy, a cult classic's journey. Flight of the Navigator's journey from modest box office performer to beloved cult classic demonstrates how some films find their true audience through home video and cable television rather than theatrical releases. The film found its people slowly, Kleiser reflected. Kids who saw it on video or TV fell in love with it and shared it with friends. This organic discovery process created a devoted fan base that continues growing today. The generation that grew up loving this overlooked Disney gem now shares it with their own children, creating an intergenerational appreciation that proves the story's enduring appeal. Why the film's themes of growing up, family connection, and finding your place in the universe endure is simple. These concerns are universal human experiences that transcend specific time periods or technologies. The failed reboot attempts prove that the original's magic came from its specific combination of practical effects, genuine performances, and heartfelt storytelling rather than just its basic concept. What's remarkable about Navigator's legacy is how its technological predictions came true. The ship's computer interface, voice recognition, and even the concept of artificial intelligence learning from human interaction anticipated smartphones, Siri, and modern AI by decades. Tech companies have cited the film as inspiration for user interface design. The movie also influenced a generation of filmmakers who grew up watching it. Directors like J.J. Abrams and the Russo brothers have mentioned Navigator as formative viewing that shaped their approach to blending practical and digital effects. The film's emphasis on emotional storytelling within spectacular visuals became a template for modern blockbuster filmmaking. If you've enjoyed these Navigator revelations, watch it again and marvel at the groundbreaking effects that still inspire filmmakers today. Sometimes the greatest adventures help us appreciate home.